Hey YouTube, welcome back to Hills and Hollers Homestead. So I got to show you this. I'm sorry, this is from under my porch here as I was getting water for the rabbits. See the area right here where the pigs are at? Well, they're all digging in right there because watching one of my subscribed channels that I'm subscribed to on YouTube, Red Tool House. Troy, he's a fellow down in southern West Virginia, and he raises pasture-raised pigs and everything. He's got his own podcast. And I was watching one of his videos there the other evening, and he was talking about areas where, using pigs to clear land or reclaim land. And he said, if you got an area like this, where they're already at, and there's just an area that you want them to really put a little bit more pressure on, he said, throw some field corn out there and just start right in there. And he said, they'll tear that area up. Well, yesterday evening, what I did was I got some corn while I was out, and I threw several handfuls. I probably put about a quarter of a 5-gallon bucket in that area right there. And you can see the green just is still left on that browse and stuff. And that's all thorny, briary stuff and just terrible. And they were down there, and it was a great distraction for them to be down there after that corn while I was over there feeding them, because they would assault me while I was over there trying to feed them. But look at her. Or that's him. That's I think it's Pignacious. Yeah, that's one of the barrows. That's a part of a tree, and he's just sticking his nose under it, lifting it up, and getting it out of his way. And you can't beat this. They are actually really putting a lot of pressure right there where I wanted them to clear that out a little bit more and root that up to get that stuff out of there. And they're doing it. I mean, so Troy, thank you very much for that information. I never really thought much about it. I just figured I'd let them go in there and do what they need to do. But if you really want them to put extra pressure on an area, and I know there's no corn in there, but he said they will tear that area up to make sure that there's not one little kernel of corn left. And there's no doubt about that, because they're out there in the snow and they're tearing it up. Now, if you look down through there, if you see the red, like right there, those are berries, and they're all over through there, if you can see that. And what that is Asian bittersweet. It is a highly invasive species. And if you look at the tops of the trees here, you see little clusters up here. That's the vines and stuff. And all the way out through there, this whole area out through here, that's one of the biggest reasons why I put the pigs in there, is because of the amount of invasive species in there. And that red, if you can get it from here in this light or not, let me step out here a little bit. So, and it's hard to see, but that red goes all the way up those trees. Those berries and those vines go all the way up those trees and through there, and that's what's choking out the canopies of these trees. That's one of the many invasive species, but it's choking out the canopies of those trees. And I really want them to put more pressure on those areas, and that's why I started doing what he recommended you do. And I'm gonna tell you, it's working. So as I stand here under my porch filling up the water jugs for the rabbits, hey, you know what? That's how I've learned almost everything I have about this and about raising these animals and stuff, is people like Troy and other channels and stuff on YouTube who live this homestead life, who are doing this. And the best part of this is there's very little trial and error for me. I mean, there is trial, and there may be slight changes here and there that I might have to make that'll work better for me or work more efficiently for me. But I mean, there it is. And I'm curious, I'm going to keep throwing some corn in there. They're not giving up on it. I'm going to keep throwing some corn in there until that area is cleaned out. And then I'll start throwing corn in other areas for them as well, to really get them to put that pressure in there, especially this time of year, because they're not distracted by other greenery and other stuff, because of being in winter. So I'm going to keep doing that, and we'll see how that works out for them, because I mean, they're in there, they're moving some brush, and they're they're really rooting that up in there. I mean, I'm standing here right now, and all I can hear is snapping and cracking of all that brush and stuff with them being in there. So you can't beat that. And that's what we want. We want them to really get in there and put a lot of pressure on that. So we're going to keep working, or keep throwing the corn down in there each day. And like I said, that'll distract them while I'm up there filling their feeders up. And hopefully we can get a little bit more pressure put in that area and help us be able to get in there later on to really clean that out of there and get those vines and those invasive species out of there to reseed and everything, to really just eliminate all of it. But see, that's I can't tell you guys enough. don't just, and I know I've only got like 600 and some subscribers, but if you're doing anything like this, or you're thinking about doing anything like this, I'm still learning. I'm still learning, and I'm doing what I'm learning on from these guys who have put the work out there and done the trial and error and everything like that. So this is great for me. I mean, this is great. This is what I want them to do. And I mean, honestly, they've done a fantastic job already of clearing most of that out. I mean, you can look at the difference from the fence line down and all the way around, and the openings that they've really opened up the woods and stuff like that. That would make it much easier. But hey, if I can get them to put more pressure in those areas, those specific areas like that, that's what we're going to do. And if I got to throw several handfuls of field corn out there to get them in those areas, to get them to put that more pressure, that much more pressure on it, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So they're still snapping and cracking going on over there. But I just thought that was something I would share with you guys. So, look around YouTube if you haven't, or you don't much. Look for other ideas. Look for other ways of doing things, because hey, it's working out for me. It's cold. I'm going to get the rabbits watered and top their feed off. And I'm working on one of the rabbit tractors in the basement right now. I actually had to run out and get some more fender washers, to help keep from splitting the wood, and keeps me from over sinking the screws and everything that I use. So, and it adds to stability and everything. So I'll get you guys caught up on that later when I get a little bit more head on it. But in the meantime, I just wanted to share that with you. So check him out, Troy, on Red Tool House. And he's from Southern West Virginia. Good guy, lots of information, lots of good information, especially on pigs and stuff. So that's it, folks. I got stuff to do. Get prepared, stay prepared, take care, and God bless.